Kaze.
The only one that I can be sure of is that it's a
And there's a
Shikaku.
North Cow. And then I do believe we see double. So is this double Benson Harakaze DD setup? I do believe.
It looks like it. That's pretty much
One
been the
Martel.
meta so far for a lot of these guys.
I'm only really good at the Martel is kind of one of those easier ones to recognize with its big, thick engine stack. Got a very unique silhouette to it, as well as the Kudasov. Got kind of that real thin streamline.
Boom, boom, boom. Here we go into the game. And over here on Cute, we have Carrier Midway in the Shikaku, North Carolina. Double Amagis, an Atago making an appearance here. Chapayev, Kudasov, Benson, and a Lo Yang. What you got over on MIA side?
That's right. Shokaku heading up the CV options. North Carolina double Amagi. And yes, that was a Charles Martel, followed by Chappie. And correct again, double Benson Akizuki.
Akizuki instead of the Harakaze. Interesting choice.
That brings 3 smokes to the table, correct?
Yes, Akizuki with the
right.
smoke,
And
Benson's with
limit.
the smokes, and right at the limit. On the other side, you see Chapayev, Benson, and Loyang. So they opted out of the Harakaze, going into the Atago. Now the Atago is something we didn't talk about earlier today, but definitely 15.9, 15.8 kilometer range. HE Slinger does have the ability to lay down some torpedo walls. Very good choice in certain situations. As I killed you first again, you can just eat
On
that,
my
Mr.
screen, it
Swolians.
says, I killed you first.
Not on my screen. Yo, here we go. Kasumi Benson going off to the left side. Loyang and Chapayev headed toward the island like I said they would. Cruiser Kinu and the Kudasov heading out toward the right-hand side. And we have Destroyer Kuroshi Kai in the Atago heading left. The Amagis going left as well. Both Amagis are going to the left side toward A, or toward Charlie, I believe. And then North Carolina Murph going out toward A.
Now, over here, we have a majority of the fleet moving towards the BC area with a kind of similar setup. We got the Marty Amagi heading out to the west, being led to sight by the CV dive bombers, which, of course, are, I'm sure you can see. I see yours, so you see mine.
I see your Amagi MIA Revenus, and now the Charles Martel has just now spotted, and Senior Murder.
Right. And it looks like we see some Benson on Benson
now
action moving towards the center here.
Benson was just spotted for just a fraction of a second there. There it is, Alpha Prime. And he is a very good DD player. I've played against him before. We tend to go about 70-30. He eats me up 70% of the time, but he's a good player. We're not going to complain about that.
Nice job by the CV to come through and use his fighters to help push those planes out of the way to get that Benson back under concealment.
Excellent flex
and
for
a
them.
Strong push by the Aki moving into C-cap. It looks like that's really what they want.
I think that he is about to take a little bit of damage here coming from the Atago, which is some. Ooh, wow! Cross shots from the Chapayev coming in, and some more of the Benson. There it is. There's the first smoke of the game coming out at pretty much the exact same time from the Benson and the Akizuki. The only problem with what the Benson has done is he is not in the cap yet. So the Akizuki does have a little bit of
Hopefully
advantage.
He does not decide to move into the cap.
Oh my goodness, there is torpedoes coming. Maybe that was a smart choice. There it is, but there's a return fire. Two racks of torpedoes coming at that smoke, so let us know what you got on there. As the Chapayev does take a lot of damage early, he's down to 24,000, sitting behind the island as well.
It looks like Lord Vodka may have burned his damage control earlier in the match, as he is still taking a fire and his engine is incapacitated right now. Although, of course, being a destroyer, he's got last stand, so he's able to mobile himself out of the area to dodge the torps.
Looks like those torps are going to be
off.
But
he's still ticking. So at 7,500 hit points and falling, that's going to put him at a slight disadvantage for the health pool. Although odds are, if he's got adrenaline rush going, he's going to start going Super Saiyan style with those 100 millimeter guns.
Death of 1,000 cuts coming from the Akizuki. Yo, I tell you what, man, the Benson here, Katsumi, does have a huge, huge advantage over that Akizuki that's in that smoke right now. There is one danger, though, I'm seeing on the map over about the H6, H7 line. There is a Chapayev down there. So him not going and pushing into this cap is a very good idea, to sit back until we spot that Chappie. And maybe these two Amagis can actually do some damage on that guy as Cute does now take the A cap. And so let's go over here and take a look at AC. Reverence in the Amagi is taking a lot of damage out here from Kudasov Chappie, North Carolina. Everybody's getting involved here because that's what they want to do. They want to have that violence, speed, momentum, and maybe a little bit of steroids. Who knows? I think it's illegal in esports, isn't it?
I'm not sure, and I'm not sure how effective taking a dose of Deca D ball is really going to improve your game in it. But whatever.
It improves the click speed, man. They're sitting there with industrial grade rubber bands on their front two fingers, and they're just going up and down, and stretching that out. So
the great finger exercises.
Now, when they do their fingers, they have their bicep 24-inch fingers, man. I tell her.
The pythons. That's right.
The 24-inch pythons, brother.
That's right. Hulkamaniacs playing the game.
The Cutamaniacs right now.
That's
anyway,
literally what it's be. The Reverend is just constantly under fire. I see
constantly
AP,
under fire.
HE rounds.
I'm seeing everything shooting at them.
Look like
lots of torpedoes going out on the seaside. Currently, torpedo planes are over there. Maybe we get to see an actual drop on somebody. Who knows? We got to see it a few times last week.
There we go. Alpha Emperor Alex got the C cap down, so now it's one cap apiece. Although over on your side, Cutie is getting the B cap secured, and there's really no one to counter him right now.
Kai is in the Low Yang, is going to take it. I think positioning is another factor here. They got to the islands quicker. They did not send any DD help, so I think this whole side over here at A was just kind of a let's just try to defend and save as many points as we can as we fight for Charlie, and then we'll move back into B and try to defend and cap B at the same time.
And here we're seeing another strategy. Reverend's shooting HE rounds out of the Amagi, so 410 millimeter HE. I'm sure he's just trying to get that boat to burn damage con, so his team of cruisers can set that boat on fire even quicker.
Now, nothing's being spotted over here on the A side. I'm going to go ahead and switch it out over back to the C side, as nothing is spotted over here. I can see nothing of the red team right now. I do think that Zuki Deer is being shot at by whatever's in that smoke. Now the Amagi is starting to pop out of the smoke, so we should see some return fire coming up here pretty quick, and there it is. And okay, no
there's
damage
a large group of boats coming out of that smoke you're about to see. So
no damage, and kind of interesting here as you see the Amagi back at C8 line going around the island just to kind of try to save some face.
He took some damage there, and that front shot hit underneath the second turret, which we know is kind of the sweet spot if you can get on her.
Pretty good torpedoes on the Otago. There are some coming out right now. Pretty good low detection range as well. So we'll see if
I believe the boat's 9.6, 9.7
nice shot.
right in there. Yeah.
Explosive girl with the hat on the cute squad, taking some fire here. Down to 30.
Yeah, definitely being the
30,000
focus.
hit
We
points.
have both the Chapayev and North Carolina taking focus on that boy, or girl. Sorry, girl with the hat.
Oh, don't assume, man.
I guess not.
You know what you assume.
The boat makes an ass out of you and me, yes.
No, I was going to say it makes a UK battleship out of you and me, because that's all it does. Anyway, but either way, there you go. Torpedoes falling off as we're going to head over back to Reverend Reverus. Whatever. That guy right there, the Amagi, at 7,000 damage, and he has now hit his repair. Looks like he's
trying to get what heal points he can back there.
This is very dangerous for him to be under 11,000, because at any time
this is pretty early
you can
in the
get
match
a
to get down.
guys, 12 minutes left in the game at the moment. 534 to 402 of the points. Nobody's dead yet, but the life totals, looking at it just by eye, MIA is down on life so far.
Yeah, and we see that you guys have a good idea over there of pushing them guys, so The Amagi and Martel are in kind of a kiting form. No one is taking the bait, which is smart, right? Notice that the boats aren't chasing these two.
What I'd
You
kind of
don't
like to
have to fall
see.
for the kite.
No, you don't. But it would be nice to see Cute go ahead and push up. If they can get in between the
Ooh,
two
okay,
islands
whip
here.
over to sea real quick here. Torp spreads that are coming in. It looks like B Doyle is taking a torp hit in the Chappie.
Oh, they
So now
just
he's sitting at
dropped.
half health.
All right, they just fell off. All right, so your Chappie's down at half health. I cannot see that until he pops up on the board.
He's hiding out in that smoke with the.
Oh, look, there's this. There's a torpedo. Atago is going to take a torpedo here. Oh no, he just barely dodged it. What epic cue the torpedo beats. Excellent, excellent dodge there. And as Reverendness goes ahead and starts to fall a little bit, he falls below 6,000 hit points. I'll tell you what I'd like to see. I'd like to see these guys push up in between these two islands here at A. They do have a Lo Yang that can flex around the other side of the islands and set them in smoke, and then they can get shots over the guys over at C if they have the range for it. 23 kilometers on the North Carolina. It's a pretty hefty range.
That's right. We got Alpaca Emperor Alex moving in to try to get around into the B cap.
Well, they're going to have to do
take
something
a slight
quick because
detour route to get a dodging of the torp wall that's moving in.
As that torp
but it
wall,
does look like he's in position.
Is that torp wall look like it's going to hit anybody there?
It's just moving freely now. The danger's over. Alpaca did do a good job of dodging those.
There you go. All right,
torps.
so Reverendness and the Charles Martel here. The Amagi and the Charles Martel are now pretty much on the nub line.
Yep, they've been pushed all the way down south.
Way back, and and for good reason too. I mean, they've done their job. They've kind of distracted. Now they're waiting on the rest of their team to go ahead and push in and try to attempt the cap at B. Now, unfortunately, the only place that they're going to be able to go to try to cap this thing is in between these two islands right here and be in relative safety. Because of the Lo Yang's hydro and the Chapayev radar, this is the only place that they're going to be able to get off a good cap from, and that's all the way through here and into that little shadow of #Turd Island. And it's not a very safe play. It is dangerous, but at some point in time, now that you're down 240 points, you do need to take a risk a little bit. Risk it for the biscuit, as you have 9 minutes left in this game to take that
That's
win.
Right. And a very smart move. I don't know if you know. Well, you may have noticed that your CV is keeping a set of bombers located down following the two kiters here, the Martel and Amagi. It looks like I can no longer see the planes now, but they were keeping
we
those
are
guys
spotted.
for
We
quite
are
a
spotting
while.
the Amagi because of the planes currently. He is the one that they want
So
to
he's doing a
focus
good
down.
job. He's taking
Alpaca Emperor Alex has been spotted down at 4,000 hit points. Doesn't look like anybody was able to take control of that. And it looked like their other DD that's over there in C did take a lot of damage. He was down way low. I don't know what he's down to. I did not see it, but Kasumi's now taking some damage as well.
2,500 hit points, so he's really low. Yeah.
Ooh. Hit points going over to Cute thus far and this early into the game with 8 minutes now remaining in the game. MIA is going to have to make a big boy push coming up soon. It looks like maybe they're trying to do that right now.
Yep, we're trying to get Explosive Girl out live action right now. It's been called out by multiple boats.
With the North Carolina coming up, there's shots going on. Oh, there's a nice hit. 4,000 or 5,000 damage there onto Explosive.
Ooh, Kasumi DD's now spotted. It looks like the torp planes are moving in. And with that defensive fire augmenting the spread of those torps.
Maybe, nope, just going to miss. He might actually kill his own guy here. He might actually kill his own guy with torpedoes. Maybe, no. Oh, man, that was so close right there. That was less than a my freaking head hair over here. But Explosive Girl will go down to fire. So there you go. First blood. 7 minutes left in the game there. Ellen Chapayev to the Cute, which will bring them back a little bit. Now they're only down at 203 points and counting. They need to get
that
this
double cap tick rate. It could get out of control. Again, it looks like the move right now. B is being pushed hard. We see all the fleet being mobile, moving towards that way.
Now watch out
They
for
know
the
the pressure is
Chapayev
on.
sitting behind the island. There is some torpedoes going into that smoke. I don't know if it's going to hit anybody. B is now starting to be capped. Watch for the radar from the Chapayev. Watch for the Lo Yang to push in a little bit to try to get his hydro range on, as there's another set of Benson torpedoes coming over. There's the radar. Alpaca, Emperor Alex, Lord Vodka down below both of them, less than 7,000 hit points, and in very, very big danger here at B is where this is where all the action is, guys. And
that could be a
they
clutch
are
radar here.
shooting.
Probably
Here we
8
go,
seconds
Emperor
left.
Alex. Now not spotted anymore. The radar is down. What the Lo Yang can do is push through into this island and hit his. Oh, they've actually left the cap. They've left the cap
drove
here.
out Alpaca, although he has done a good job of slamming on the brakes.
They should back up into this. Try
Looks
not
like
to
that's
be
the
spotted
plan now.
here.
He's just slamming on the brakes now and getting ready to moonwalk himself back in.
All right, so the radar pretty much non-existent there. Nothing too spectacular coming from that radar. Wow, I just seen Cyril Dean down there, 6,000 hit points. I haven't seen that all game, as he was not spotted for a very long time for me. 3,000 hit points on Emperor Alex.
He took a big nuke somewhere. I've missed how that damage fell off his
did
boat.
not see him. Oh, there you go. Maybe it was a torpedo that we missed. Kasumi down to 7,000 hit points here, as we have some torpedoes coming in. I don't think that they're going to go anywhere. Now, Kasumi is taking a lot of fire, a lot of focus from MIA, and he is forced to burn his smoke. He was trying to get to the Lo Yang smoke. Maybe it would knock him off, but now he's taking a lot of hit points damage, down to 3,000. So another 4,000 damage off of their Benson there. That's the DDs
and now the hope
really
is
low.
that B. Doyle has a radar available and is able to get that used, as your DD is definitely within range. And I think there we go. Kasumi is now spotted.
Emperor Alex has now just popped up as well. He needs to stay in that cap. He is behind the island. He is in perfect safety right now, unless a CB comes over or that Lo Yang Laffey County comes around that corner on him. I think he's going to be safe and be able to secure this cap as long as nobody else takes any damage. He should have it, no problem. Cyril Dean now is down to 4,000, 3,000 hit points. He is on fire. He looks like he might be going down here. No, he hit his repair, so he's fine. There's the radar from the Chappie, and look at all the low health targets here in the middle of B.
Oh, yes.
Lord Vodka, Alpha Prime, and the Chappie down, and that's it.
And
the game's over. The time ticks over. The points tick over to 1,000. Very interesting game. Very slow gameplay. Very patient gameplay. I think that MIA kind of missed out on their opportunity when they were down 500 points at 500 to 300. They should have made their push then. They did get an advantage by killing the Amagi, and then they tried to push in. But I think again, too little too late, taking the moment, seizing the opportunity, and making something happen. Sometimes you just have to go and make something happen. You can't wait for the game to come to you. Sometimes you have to be aggressive. So MIA missing out on an opportunity here. They were slowly working it up, but they did, like I said, they did miss that opportunity. So they're going to fall 1-0 here against Cute, who played a pretty good game so far. It was very interesting. I mean, everybody was in smoke the whole time. We didn't really see a whole lot. They really focused down the Amagi over at A and pushed them way out to where they became ineffective objects. I'm not sure.
If you notice, on both sides, the only boat lost an Amagi. Both teams only lost one boat, and they lost an Amagi.
They were doing their job. They got spotted.
More examples of that objective gameplay winning games.
So you get the early cap, get that B cap. The Chapayev, such an awesome tool to be used sitting behind that island, because you can radar both caps. And we saw that they didn't really play too much of an effect here, but it did stall. It did stall out the Benson on your side, Alpaca, from getting that cap. He was like, uh-oh.
Yeah, there was a lot of low health targets.
Lots of low health targets, lots of potential damage. That was, the time ran out, so we never got to see how that came to fruition. But either way, Cute taking this one 1-0 on the score of 1,000 points. Chapayev shooting down one plane, 8 from the Benson, 1 kill, the only kill on the Atago here for Cute, which is, does that surprise you at all?
The Atago, that's right.
Does that surprise you at all that he got the only kill on that team?
Maybe a little bit, but
it could have gone. Bro. It could have gone our little. Either way, the Kudasov was shooting on that Amongi for ages. Just wasn't able to get the fires to kill him.
Or cruisers getting the kills on the battleship.
There you go. That's what it's supposed to do. So North Carolina with 7 planes and Shikaku with 11. Not much going on this game. What about your side, MIA?
Yep, so over on our side, Lord Vodka killing down 7 birds. B. Doyle getting the lone kill on the Amagi, also taking down 4 birds by him. Alpha Prime, 4 birds. I'm going to butcher this name. Sarah Lind, 2 birds down. Alpaca Nailing 6. Charlie Marty showing that it does indeed have some AA. CHS 4000 getting 16 birds out of the air.
Nice.
Reverend Rass. God, let's get that name correct. Reverend Rass getting
that
5
Amagi
birds.
Guy.
There we go.
That Amagi guy, all right.
Senior Murder getting 13, while the Shikaku piloted here by Warlord 78 knocking down 8.
All right, so how do you think this game could have gone any different? The only thing I can think of is MIA probably should have pushed in to be a little bit sooner.
A little bit quicker. I
think
there need to be a little bit quicker play to the caps. Maybe taking a page out of SF's book there from the last games that we saw. The speed at which they got to the cap kind of put them at a little bit of disadvantage, and the positioning being in that kind of setup where the Charlie Marty and the Amagi got pushed so far back so early, it almost would have been better for them not to have even gone out that way and maybe moved more towards the center and provide B with some cover. The job of kiting never really worked out for them over there. At A, they weren't able to get effective defensive ribbons to stall out the cap that quickly. It was overrun pretty quickly over there by Cutie. So.
Here's something that I've noticed in this game, especially when they need to make a push. It's not just MIA. It's most teams in the league or in randoms, is that smoke comes out from that Benson, and they're stuck in that smoke. Not that necessarily they're stuck. They choose to stay in that smoke for the entire duration of that smoke. Now, I understand wanting to be hidden, wanting to not take the damage. Wait for that other smoke to come up and run smoke to smoke. This is what they were trying to do. They just didn't have enough time to get it done. I think maybe if you take off the last 30 seconds of that smoke and the other smoke is ready and they are on tandem, they are... one right after another when they're on rotation here, you can lead that smoke from the cap into your enemy or into your teammates instead of leading that smoke from your teammates into the cap. That tends to not work out as well because you're spotted. You eventually get spotted, but if you're running away from the cap with your smoke, then yes, it will be a little bit less on the time for them to actually sit in the cap. But I think leaving your smoke early is not a bad choice here, especially in this situation when it could have gotten them into B a lot sooner. So basically, don't camp your smoke all the whole time. How about that? No?
Exactly. Don't camp your smoke. Sorry,
Don't
I was
camp.
on mute there. I was responding. Yeah,
so there you go.
Leaving that smoke early to get yourself in position where you can angle out and be building up speed when you're spotted, because nothing's worse than coming out of a smoke, being at, quarter to half of your max speed and being stuck in a turn and being super easy to hit. Right? It's better if you can get out of that smoke, build up speed by the time you're spotted, so you at least have a fighting chance of dodging any of those shots.
There you go. So if you guys are wanting to know, OP Gaming versus APOC is now in game number 1 on Trident, and I will try to get those results for you as soon as we can here. As soon as I understand who won what, I will relay that message for the rest of the league.
Now we're just waiting for Gang 2 and Sea of Fortune.
I think...
I think it's going to be the my favorite map of tonight's lineup, or the choices for the map rotations here.
The next map is Sea of Fortune.
Sea of Fortune,
Sea of
yes.
Fortune. This is like your favoriteest map. Why do you like this map so much?
Again, I think I've highlighted a couple times. I think it's one of those few maps that rewards the aggressor. So the way that the islands are positioned, the way that the caps are centered, you are able to get into those effective spots and be rewarded for the play of moving into position. Where other maps, putting yourself into position might, what some would say, overextend yourself, right, and put you at a disadvantage. There's a lot of play. There's enough island cover. For the most part, there's enough lanes to be blocked that you can effectively get in a cap, cheer it, and move to the next without just being completely deleted off the map 9 times out of 10.
Anything that you would like to see this game? Honestly, I'd like to see a more active game. I think everybody wants to see a more active game. That was a pretty passive game. It was effective. They got the early points, then they let it roll up. They punished them for being spotted by taking out a lot of HP off of their battleships, which is their job. So this game kind of played out the way I thought it was going to play out. This next game, MIA is going to have to be the aggressors here. If they are not the aggressors, they will get 2-0'd. They will get 2-0'd. They're going to have to pick their spot, and they're going to have to push, and they're going to have to run it down their throats, or it is not.
Yeah, it'll be a shorter night here, which I'd love to just keep on going if we can, but that's up to the teams here. So we'll see what kind of action we can get out here. So, and here comes the MIA boys, bring it back in the lineup.
Well, what I can be sure of is the Chicago. Looks like 2 Amagis again. I think Amagis in North Carolina. It looks like something amazing with these Amagis. A lot of people are taking the Amagis now over another North Carolina. I think the speed and the mobility of an Amagi over a Bismarck is the right choice, honestly.
Yeah, it's a good choice, and those 410 millimeter guns being the biggest to tier 8, you pack a wallop, and you have a lot of barrels, right? 10 barrels on that boat, I believe. Right?
5 sets of 2.
So I mean, you're putting out a lot of potential alpha there.
All right, we are good to go. Here's game number 2 between MIA and the Cute. Something to be said. Do you think any lineup changes? Any specific boat that you would like to see on this map here?
I think, is this a Kudasov that's going to be coming out? And oh man, is this a? I think I see a Kudasov being brought out over here on Cutie side. And did they bring a Kudasov out the first game?
Yes, they did. It was over on the A or the C side over there.
So well, it might be the same lineup over here. The same lineup.
I don't think we'll see any more than 1 Kudasov on a team.
That's right, because it takes up a smoke spot, which they limit it to 3.
All right, so break us down what you got over there.
All right, Shokaku North Carolina double Amagi, Charlie Marty coming out, Chappie Cooter, and then Benson Lohang.
Good choice in the Lohang. Shokaku North Carolina double. It's pretty much identical until you get to Charles Martel and the Chapayev, and then we're going with a triple DDs. Maybe get that extra spot on 2 Bensons and an Akizuki. So my prediction here is that Chapayev is going to sit up behind an island somewhere, which they normally do. Charles Martel and one of the Amagis are going to be out on the flank, either A or C. And then you got the Bensons and the Akizuki's going to go out there to try to get some things done. Now, typical play on this is C to B. We'll see what team decides they want to go to A. I was looking the wrong direction. How awesome would it have been if I'd have detonated?
Oh yeah. No, that would not.
Well,
be
we're just not gonna shoot as you killed me first this time. We're just not gonna shoot next time.
Because God forbid we have.
God forbid we have to be the reset. Yeah, right. There we go. All right, so Benson, Alpaca, Emperor Alex headed over toward the Charlie camp, and we have Lord Vodka and Chima and the Benson headed over toward the Alpha Cap. Charles Martel heading out towards C. Like I said, he was going to either be on one or the other. Scary Snowman, and in the Chapayev, and Cheryl Shiria Lindy. That's right, Linda. All right, and Smurfling, North Carolina, headed out toward A. As the Reverend heads out toward C in his Amagai.
That's right. And
over here we got rise the majority, up against that.
Over here we got majority of the fleet is moving towards B and C, which is a good strategy, with a lone Kudasov kind of making the kite route towards Alpha. So pretty much what you see, the low wing is moving right up to the B cap immediately. Benson's trying to move his way up to the C, but I do see dive bombers within spotting area, so of course those are going to slow down that progression to the caps as they try to deal with both the planes and the incoming fire due to that spotting.
Excellent start opening here by the CVs.
I see the Charlie Martys are already under fire. Of course, a good target to try to shoot first.
As we saw in the last
one of the
game,
squishier boats on this map.
They're one of the, just in general, but whatever. Something that hasn't been spoken about today is the effect of their CVs in this game. That last game, the CVs, according to our beautiful analysts here in the chat, Reno here, the spotting from both carriers was on point. The very centralized focus form of MIA may work on other maps, but the disconnected structure of Trident makes such a strategy difficult to execute unless it can be done quickly. And we did see that was not a very quick game. It did go to 1,000 points, and it did take a long time.
Quick, Laffy Kai Ni, real quick to get on to B there.
There's no defense for B right now coming from MIA. Letting them just have those caps and the free points as they are.
There you go with the A cap is yours, uncontested.
A cap is yours, and now we are going to have some hot contesteds here for the B cap as the Chapayev was seen, and I think the Alpaca, just instead of forcing that Chappie to burn his radar and possibly dying, he just said, you know what, forget it, we're going to get out of here, we're going to take our points, and we're going to go ahead and try to push through A, which I think is what's going to happen. What they need to do is they need to push their boats through A, because if you don't want to get stuck behind A, because going to B is a pain in the rear. And if you don't go to B quickly, they're just going to sit there and wait for you to come around. And then they're going to pick you off one at a time.
They're going to reward this aggressive push because red team over here, so your MIA boys are actually going to be in a good position here to kind of put a lot of pressure on the B cap. As Cutie is setting up kind of more on the outside peripheral of these islands. So they're getting shots like from C and what could be in that west side of A cap. But your guys are rushing more towards the center, and we're leaving kind of the low wing to kind of do the job of controlling that flood into the cap here.
Well, he can control it to a certain extent. Obviously, the Chapayev being spotted behind the island there in between B and C it is a kind of a deterrent. Oh my gosh, the Amagi Zukaku.
Where did that come from?
Oh my goodness, just absolutely erased Scary Snowman. One shot him from maximum range, and there it is. It's gone. It's gone, boys. There's the Chappie. There you go. Big advantage going out toward Cute just now. So that's one of the punishments that you get. And unfortunately, if I'm looking at his dead boat here, he was broadside. And he has that school bus camo on his boat, so he was spotted from miles away. And he was punished for being broadside. And, there you go.
B's going to be an interesting cap to look at here, as I notice it is being contested, and the low wing is in a position where it's going to be surprise on the boat, because there's one spot that the enemy can be right now in that.
Yeah, and he is in that spot right there next to the island. He's just barely got his boat in there, and he is trying to make a play for it. What a shot!
The point tick is going to be controlled there. So really, it's only your guys is getting the tick. Oh well, now we have the C cap is secured over here by Cutie, so there is a residual cap returning. But by contesting that cap, they've stopped the points.
Here comes something from the red team Shukaku here. I see his bomber planes trying to get over there, trying to get a spot, but the Amagis and the North Carolina's bubble are preventing him from moving in, as he will be able to pretty much. We're getting a whole lot of pings going out toward the D9 little nugget island out there. I don't know what they're pinging, but there's nobody there for that I can see.
Nope, and we do not have anybody over there, although there's people kind of a grid square to the west. No one in particular is behind that island, but I noticed that the Loang, so Laffy Kaini, must be using his hydro and spotting the Benson here. So,
well, that Benson is just sitting there trying to stall out the cap as long as possible. Alpaca Emperor Alex is slowly trying to make his way in again. I don't think that he's going to actually push himself into that cap again. And actually, let me tell you something here, man. If this guy wants to get into the C cap, he needs to get on the other side. You see where that smoke wall is right there? Mm-hmm. He needs to get in behind that island, because now the Chappie can radar him, but he's not going to get punished for it. The only way that he can take any damage is from the Benson that's in the cap or the Charles Martel that's outside the cap at the D8 line. That's the only way he's going to take damage, and I would rather take that chance against those guys with those long loopy shots than that Chapayev with those laser beams.
That is true. That is the Russian trademark laser beam stellinium warheads. No one wants to be hit by those.
Cute Murph did take a lot of damage over here. He's down to 38,000 damage. Just about half life. Maybe a little bit more. Oh wow, Lord Vodka goes down to a torpedoes from the Loyang right there in the middle at B.
Those were blind torps.
Blind torps. He must have his radar location, guys. Radar location is something that's very fantastic for you guys to try to play on, because I have hit and been hit by torpedoes coming from radar location spotting only, as you can blanket the area that they're going to be in. So now MIA down 2 boats here, really early in the game, 12 minutes remaining, 12:20, and ticking down on the clock here. And they are up, Cute is up 500 to 360, 548 to 360. So a massive advantage. Down a Chappie.
Yep, and now they're holding the cap.
Down an Akazuki.
Pulled away.
C is being pulled away. Now it's time to make their play. Alpaca Emperor Alex is going to that island, what I was talking about. Because the Benson is behind that island now, he is going to be spotted. He is going to be spotted by radar, I assume, here. Wow, what a shot. What a shot. And it didn't work out for him. And he got detonated. Charles Martel detonating Emperor Alpaca Alex. What in the world is going on with this game? A detonation. That guy's probably getting angry because he didn't have dead flags. All right. All right, that is honestly the first detonation I have ever seen in a competitive play here. Nobody had dead flags on. Now, I understand that you do lose those things, but hey, if you want to compete, you might as well spend them. And I cannot believe that guy actually got detonated.
In this kind of competitive mode, you do not want that RNG roll being a variable.
I'd hate to say it early, but with that detonation, really puts a bearing and a bad taste in MIA's mouth right now. They are not happy. What can they do to win this game? They have to spot
They need
B,
to get some kills quick. I believe the air needs to play a role. We know the Low Yang has some, but really they got to start getting some boats out that way.
What they need to do is they need to go ahead and make their push into B. Unfortunately, the Amagi is on a very good angle. He's got good position. Explosive Girl with the hat does have position on Smurfling, so he really can't push in. Now torpedoes are coming in at Smurfling as well. They're
going to be spotted for sure.
They're definitely spotted. What these guys need to do is they need to push that Lo Yang, get him out of the cap. They need to take the cap, possibly kill that Lo Yang. Unfortunately, though, I don't think it's going to happen because the Amagi on the outside over there at E8 does have angle on that North Carolina. So if he goes to pushing in, he's going to open up broadside toward that Amagi. Even if he goes angled out toward C and tries to push in, that Murph down there can just back up a little bit and then start spamming AP into his citadels. So, I mean, they're kind of stuck right now. And, and if they're not careful, Zukadir is going to get behind them and absolutely obliterate them from the backside like we saw he did to Chappie earlier in the game.
Mm-hmm. And although I'm looking at the situation initially, I wanted to say Chima should rush in and fire at Laffy Kaini. Chappie over here, Murokomo Kaini, DD, is hanging out just to the
Oh,
east of him, so he's
Kasumi just
providing.
took a big nasty shot of damage as well. Go ahead.
Yes, I see that Kasumi taking a hit there. Oh,
Ooh,
Morokumo hit him.
Maroka Kai. They do have the power to bring this back in 1 or 2 shots, but they just need to get the angles on them. Right now,
That's true.
I think MIA has position on the map. They are spread out, covering every angle, every
El
entry
Chima's
point.
making the rush now. It's his final draw. There's nothing more he can do. With the amount of torps that the Lo Yang is able to push out here, this is going to be an incredibly
There
hard
it is.
dodge.
There's the torps. Are they going to dodge him? Oh, no. The Lo Yang does pull him out. He did try to go, and just to get that Lo Yang down, I don't think that was worth it. They should have waited for the North Carolina to get in a little bit more, but shots from the Amagi coming in under the North Carolina doing relatively no damage, and the Lo Yang dodging the torpedoes there.
Great island play. He's just hanging out in this little itty-bitty alcove.
There is a little cove
over here by the rocks, and was able to just be on the right angle where those torps could not get an angle on him.
All right, so here's the next thing. With that Chappie gone, you cannot spot that Lo Yang. That makes that smoke good. That smoke is absolutely 100% good. Nothing's going to be able to spot that guy in that smoke with that Chappie going.
He just baited Smurfling to fire early and accelerated quickly, moving out of the way of the shot. So now he's got open rain on Smurfling for the next 26 seconds, 25 seconds, depending if the North Carolina is rolling.
Doing a good job predicting the first set of torpedoes, and he is going to dodge the second set of torpedoes as well. Good job by Smurfling for doing that. Laffy K&I.
Good shot.
Gotta love that shot, guys. He's within 4 kilometers on a destroyer. He should be getting 7,000-8,000 damage on those AP shells. Here comes a drop. Is that the CV's gonna get him? It went under him, and Smurfling. Oh man! Wow! Charles Martel picking up the Lo Yang, and the Lo Yang obviously taking out the North Carolina. Excellent
Great
counterplay
job by
there.
Laffy Tiny. I know I might be speaking early, and maybe somebody else is going to become, but so far he is definitely the MVP of the game.
We don't talk
Laffy
about
Tiny.
that. Did a good job this game holding down that B cap alone. Like I said, the Lo Yang can hold down spots pretty solidly, being able to spot the enemy with their hydro, dropping some pretty decent torpedoes. They're a little slow for my taste, but they're not bad. 9.2 kilometers on those, being a Benson style.
Yeah, essentially a Benson with the ability to equip that hydro, and that was proven good.
Now, Bedoy,
right, it is hydro. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It does have hydro, yes.
Very good.
Bedoyle, O'Doyle rules, taking a lot of damage here now from every angle here, and as the Kudasov is now shooting on to the Amagi out here, the Reverend and Sierra. Man, I'll tell you what, I am butchering names tonight, and I do apologize to all you bros out there, sisters out there, that I butchered your name tonight. But anyway, the Amagi out there on the left, down to 4,000 hit points. The Charles Martel down to 5,000, and Rev down here for 14 grand.
Sarah Lundy, maybe? Yeah, that's probably the correct name.
Another Zukaki taking down the Charles Martel, and O'Doyle rules. Rev down to 9,000 damage here, as now the Amagi down up to hitting his repair and his heel up to 9 grand, and dodging those shells pretty handily. And here comes some more from the Kudasov. Looks like they're probably going to set him on fire here, or hit him at all.
This was good, since this started to reward the aggressive push. When MIA was aggressive in A, they were able to get it. When Cute was able to move into the caps and be aggressive, they were rewarded. So again, I feel like this.
And GG's are going out. MIA is going to go ahead and succeed on this game here. Excellent game on both sides. GG's are on both sides. Rev is just kind of mopping up the last little bit of the game here. 2,000 damage over here, 14,000 over there. It's trying to save a little bit of face here, and there it is, ticking over to 1,000 points yet again. Cute over MIA for another 2-0 game. We saw 4 pretty handily games here.
4 and out, man.
4 and out, and that's it for us, boys. MIA coming in with 1 kill from the Charles Martel, trying to bring it back. 1 kill from the Amagi Rev, trying to bring it back. Some random smattering of planes, nothing over 5, so I'm not even going to call them out. So good job, guys. MIA showing up today. Unfortunate for them. Their Chappie gone on the first volley of the game. They're relatively early in the game. Their Benson getting detonated with 2,000 hit points left. That's could have done. We've seen a lot of things with 45 hit points before. Could have played a big factor later on, and then just basically losing too many boats early, man.
Yeah, great focus fire over by Cute. And if I'm doing the rundown over here, we have Zukaku Deer getting 2 boats down, 5 birds. Sorry if I butchered your name there. Laffy Kaini, 3 boats and 1 bird. Destroyer Kuroshio Kai getting 1 boat and 1 bird. Murakumo Kaini getting 6 birds. All these Japanese names here. Kasumi Didi getting 16 birds out of the air. So again, that Seahull Benson showing up for the battle. Cruiser Kinu getting himself 1 kill and 2 birds out. And then we see Murph getting a plane. And of course, Mr. Swole getting 1 kill on his buddy here, Venom.
Yeah, hey, that's that guy, man. Yo, I heard about that guy. He's a little average to me. Yes. Overall, man, what a great game coming from both sides. Unfortunate for the detonation. Unfortunate for the Chapayev just getting deleted off of the map. Yep. This is why you fire AP, boys, from range. Also, without that Chappie, not being able to spot that Lo Yang in there, one shot leads to another.
A radar could have really changed that battle.
That's right, and it just kind of went domino fashion here. After that Chapayev goes down, Lo Yang's smoke is good. He is able to sit there and take out 3 other players and just really dominate that B cap. So my stars of the game, I'm going to split this one in half. Zukaki and the Lo Yang, Laffy. Zukaki and Laffy together carried this game for this team. And I say because without Zukaki's shot on that Chappie to delete him, you don't get the Lo Yang being able to sit there.
That's right. It was a very good shot. I would agree there. I definitely think Laffy Kaini highlighted that. Taking that position, holding it down, not panicking. Did a very good job of lay and pray, and just waited for those enemies to foul up, and took full advantage when he could. And he was in that unique little alcove where he's got inlets that he can shoot over, but he's really limiting those torpedo angles where you have to be dead in front of him before you're going to get an angle to hit his boat. So you really have to overextend and get in front of his barrels. And that Benson just was not willing to do that with a Chappie sitting nothing but 300 meters off to his east. So
did a very good job, Chappie, being in that spot. Sometimes when you get a Chapayev and they want to nut up to an island, it kind of takes their guns out of it, and I think that's a little misuse of the boat of the Chapayev. But I've seen it over and over and over again. They are able to get a little bit of damage out there, but their radar is a utility, and it's unfortunate to see good boats like that. They want a good boat. They want to use their boat to the best of their ability and still be able to have that utility. And unfortunately, I don't like seeing Chappies setting up on islands, but hey, if that's going to protect those guys, then I'm all for it. You know what I'm saying?
I know we didn't see any tonight, but given this format and stuff,